So now what we need to do is that I'm going to delete all this data off by checking all. Then I hit on delete, then delete, and I'll go to subscription, and then I'll hit on check all and then delete. So now what we are going to do is this: when you come to the SQL code that runs for this form for data to process, let's see the form. So they said the form action goes from what? New submit. So let's go and look for new submit file. New submit is here. Now new submit is saying that first of all what we need to do is select from the user data where weight is yes. Now if the weight is yes and query returns 1, then what we need to do is that delete from this user where the weight is this, and then we echo this information which we have been getting anytime we want to add a user, and then the users all know. So now that is not the most important thing. Let's come down to this. This is where the problem is here. This is where the challenge is here. After all that, is supposed to update the information on the user data with the ones you have entered into the form. Is that okay? But the system is not doing it. So whatever information you have entered here is supposed to update the user table with that particular information. So what I did was this: I commented this out, and then I have to write an insert code, so that will insert the new data that we have into the table, and then from there it also runs for the subscription to as well. So for me not to write so many codes, I'll go to my user data, then I'll come to SQL query, then I'll hit on the insert button, and that is going to give me the SQL code for insert. So what I only need here right now is this information. I will type this myself, so I'll copy this and then I'll paste it in my file where I'm going to write my SQL code. So I wrote the SQL code above this query line. So here I have my SQL underscore connect. Then we have we call our connection, which is connect, and then we now paste in our information in quotes. Is that okay? So I'll paste in this. So now then the next thing is to provide the values which will be inserted. So now the values we have here. Okay. So now when we go back to our database here, the system is supposed to generate an automatic ID here. Yeah, auto increment. So what happened is that we don't want the ID field here. Is that okay? So what we do is that we take off this ID field with the comma, then we start our data with the weight. So the weight here, I'm going to make it yes. So insert the data and then assign yes to the weight column. Is that okay? Now we have a new ID, and the new ID is going to be this membership ID which we have here. So I'm going to provide that, and then the column for this is when we look at the ID here, we don't have the ID here, so I'll provide the ID. So the ID is going to be so pd underscore ID, and then we have equal sign. Then I said okay, rtrim, so to prevent SQL injection in the database. So we have post, and then we have quotes. Let me remove these quotes and bring them inside my square. So Now we have here quote. So now what is this membership ID attribute name? So let's go to membership attribute. So here let's look, it is what? P underscore ID. So that means that we said okay, P underscore ID I have here, and then we terminate our full stop with a semicolon. So now see, so now this membership ID here, this new ID is going to be given by what? Our membership ID. So the next thing we are supposed to provide our insert command is what? Our membership ID, which is now going to be what? The variable that is holding the membership ID. So which is this? Alright, so YouTube, I paused the video and I went behind the screen and I filled up the other details which you can see on the screen here. Now after filling in these details, what I did next was that I came to comment the update information out, because this is no more needed. So now I will run a new insert value, then pick the ID of that insert person, and then I will subscribe, make a subscription for that person, either monthly, daily, yearly, or based on machines level. So now, and after that I also comment this out, select query from data where weight is yes, and so for all this information is not also needed. So I commented that one too out. So now this is what we have left. So now let's try adding a new member to our gym information to see whether it will pick or not. So let's go new registration. Then we have the name joystick, then proof of identity, which I have here as passport, age is 23, sex is female, and contact is what I have on my screen. Then membership type is monthly, and monthly is 100 Ghana cedi. So joystick is paying 60 Ghana cedi now, and later on will come to top up on the 40 Ghana cedi. So I hit on the save button and that will save my data. So it's saying that okay, information saved, she has paid 60 out of the 100, and the balance left is what? 40. So we hit on the go button to go back to see whether our data has been picked, but you can see that our data still hasn't picked. So let's visit our database. Our database is here, subscription is empty, user data is empty, but our system is working all right. So that means that we still have a challenge, and the challenge is coming from PHP My Admin, which is the SQL. So what we need to do is that let's come to PHP My Admin, the dashboard, and this might happen to you either on your host or on your local server. If it is XAMPP, I've studied XAMPP, this thing doesn't occur, but WAMP realized that this is the challenge. So I've decided that okay, one thing leads to another thing. So once this tutorial comes up, and then I'm using XAMPP right now to do the tutorial, let me solve this thing with you. I'll be doing a tutorial on both local and hosting as well, how to deal with that. So let's go to variables. Then from variables we look for SQL mode, which is S column SQL mode. So SQL mode. SQL mode is here. Now these are the features of SQL mode, and then we have restrict all tables. Now restrict all tables. Now when you write a complex query, is that okay? That is beyond the range of SQL queries. It tries to restrict those queries not to execute. So that is why we have that challenge. So what we need to do is that we need to edit our server and remove this strict all tables. Now when it is your live server, is going to be group by order or something like that. Yeah, I'll be doing a tutorial on it, so don't worry. So right now we are supposed to edit and remove strict all tables. So we hit on the edit button, then we remove starting from this comma, and then we take everything off, then save our table. Now this has solved our problem, so that our complex queries that we are writing will be able to execute into the various tables. So now let's go back, and then we add a new registration member. So we still have joystick, and then passport is the proof of identity, age 23, female. Contacts is what I have there, and then monthly, and then we said she's paying what, 60 Ghana. So 60 Ghana, remember what, 40 Ghana. So save. And now we have what, a dialog box that says what, member added. So that means our complex query has been able to execute. That is why we are seeing this message. So now we can print out our information, and then we hit on the go button, and that is going to take us back. Now we have what, total members, which is 1, and members that joined this particular month is also 1, and this is the information that I have. Most of this table information, I've edited them, so please take time to edit them according to your taste. This is what I want, so also edit them according to your taste. So that is how it goes. So if I go to payment, I have the person details there. I can add payment if I want. Maybe that's the following month, if it is after the first month the person has subscribed, next month, and so forth and so on. So we go to alert, and we have unpaid, and then unpaid we have balance as 40 Ghana cedi. So I'm going to pay the balance. So you can see that income for the month is 100 Ghana, which is the subscription for monthly, but the person has made a payment of 60 Ghana, so our income is for 60 Ghana. So let's add the balance by hitting on pay balance. So pay balance, then we make it 100 in all. So we save the button, and that is going to update our system, and then we have what, no unpaid information. Now our total amount for the month is what, 100 Ghana cedi, and then the person has paid what, 100 Ghana cedi. So that is how to deal with this GEM application software. So kudos to the one who asked me for this tutorial long ago, which I didn't have time for it, but it is due now, so I have to set it up for you to see. So this is the chiri chara time that we are doing. So stay tuned with Da-viruz system. If you like my tutorial, please subscribe to my channel, leave comments, and visit my blog for more educational information, which is Da-viruzsystems.com. So stay tuned with us till our next tutorial on your way, the chiri chara chara.